Welcome to my review of Dreamland, directed by Joris-Peyrafitte and starring Fimmel and the goddess herself, Margot Robbie. And you know how it works, everyone. She is in the movie, so we must talk about it. We follow Eugene Evans, who dreams of escaping his small Texas town when he discovers a wounded, fugitive bank robber. And over time he becomes torn between claiming the bounty for her capture and his growing affections for her. Now before I crack on with my review and give you my thoughts, please do share yours. That's the most important part for you to start a conversation. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell because it really helps me and of course the channel out as well. And I have a brand new merch store on TeePublic and Redbubble. The links for that are in the description. Now if you're familiar with the channel, if you're not new here, you know I will watch anything Margot Robbie has any involvement in. And on her part, I was not disappointed at all. This is very much a star vehicle for her. This is very much a movie that hopefully puts her into the awards race. And as far as her performance is concerned, they have a very great claim to it. She is sensational in this film, as we know she is capable. She plays a character that is very complex. She has a lot of things to hide. She has a lot of fears. She has a very traumatizing and dark path. And throughout the film, you're not really sure if you believe her, not only because you can only tell her past from what she shares with Finkel's character, so it's all from her perspective. So it's kind of like, oh, is she lying? Is she trying to make her way into freedom? What is really going on here? But her performance is very nuanced, and as you start to get to know this character a little bit, much like our main character Eugene Evans, you start to get accustomed to her and feel comfortable, and you start to trust her. And the film plays that rather well. Fimmel, who I only know from Slaughterhouse Rules, a film where Margot Robbie herself cameoed in, he's really great in this film. In fact, Margot Robbie, who's Australian, Fimmel, who's British, and Travis Fimmel, who is also Australian, all of them do really great Southern accents. Now, I know there are specific Southern accents to certain parts of the Southern United States. Specifically, this film is set in Texas, so I don't know how much of a good Texas accent this is, but it's a damn good Southern accent on all their parts. And look, accents are not easy. They're not easy whatsoever. So congratulations to all three of them, who in general, Fimmel, Travis Fimmel, everyone in this film gives a really great performance. Of course, the biggest and best performance is Margot Robbie. She is very much the driving force of this film. She is very much who puts our main character in a crossroads. So basically every decision that he makes throughout the film is mostly directly or indirectly due to her involvement in this story. And I gotta say that the film also looks great. It is shot beautifully. The warm colors, the vast landscapes, the beautiful wide shots that it captures. Just some very good cinematography all around. Apart from that, something that I really enjoyed in this film is that it kind of has this Bonnie and Clyde vibe to it. Now, I'm not saying that this is Bonnie and Clyde, not in the least, and we'll get to issues in a bit, but it feels very much like Bonnie and Clyde, these two characters who are in love, and they're not just good old-fashioned people. The character of Eugene Evans kind of being influenced by someone who is at least accused of doing some very bad things, so it's essentially Bonnie and Clyde. But what if Bonnie was actually influencing Clyde into the quote-unquote dark side? So that character dynamic really worked for me and kept me just interested enough to keep watching the film. And now we go into issues because unfortunately not much else kept me interested. Look, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm always going to be interested in something Margot Robbie does. That doesn't mean I'm always going to love whatever she does. I despise Suicide Squad. I do not like The Terminal. I really didn't care for Z for Zachariah. And as a whole, I really didn't care for this film because its promise and its Bonnie and Clyde vibes are so big that the film ends up doing very little with it. This is a 100-minute long film, and it doesn't really feel like it gets going until the 1 hour mark, and there's only 40 minutes in the film, so those last 40 minutes are extremely rushed. There's something in screenplay that is called the Inciting Incident. In this movie, it's our young Eugene Evans finding out that this fugitive is in his barn, and he tries to keep her safe, and he starts trusting her, and blah, blah, blah. And that's all that happens for the bulk of the film. There's not much else. There's not much that you can identify from a screenwriting structure in this film happening. So it feels uneventful. It feels like nothing happens in this film besides that inciting incident, then what happens at the 1 hour mark, and then something that happens like 5 minutes until the movie's over. So there are 3 things to talk about in this film. And of course, I can't talk about the second and third things because I don't want to spoil to you, but unfortunately, as much as the performances are really great, the characters themselves are not that interesting for the most part. They're mundane, they're average, they're very cliched, and overall the story itself goes in very cliched directions. Check any story of 2 people from different worlds that meet and start falling in love, and then check the scenes that happen in mostly every movie with a story like this. Those scenes happen in this film, and they just take so long. This film took my energy away. I did not care for it one bit. It's well shot, it's got good performances on the surface, it has a lot of promise to it, and it doesn't really do anything with it, unfortunately. It becomes very forgettable, very unremarkable, apart from its quote-unquote good elements that it has on the surface, and then once it's supposed to develop all those elements and bring them together, it just doesn't. I'm giving Dreamland a C-. Now, my beautiful geekies, what did you think of Dreamland? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Remember to check out the merch store on TeePublic and Redbubble. And again, if you're new here, consider clicking the subscribe button because it really helps me and the channel out. And so to everyone, whether you're new, whether you're old, stay beautiful, stay geeky, and until the next video, most importantly, above everything else, love each other and love the movies.